educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
Citizens of Rapture, this just in. News from the surface. Nuclear weapons testing began last week over the South Atlantic as the Cold War escalates, serving as yet another reminder of just how lucky the citizens of Rapture are to be down here beneath the waves. I know I speak for all of us when I say Rapture is the greatest place on Earth, both above and below the sea. No greater city could ever, will ever exist. Rapture belongs to us, as it has been, as it will always be. I'm Eddie Mack, and you're tuned to Rapture Radio.
Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? Indeed, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
Today, folks, we're rocking the waves with some great tracks, so keep it tuned for the finest earworms of 1958. But first, here are the latest headlines from below the sea. Today's top story: an elusive smuggling ring continues to operate despite the efforts of Ryan Private Security. Chief Sullivan's official statement reassures that they are close to capturing the culprits, but until further notice, remember to check all purchases for the Rapture stamp of approval and report any suspicious products or activity to your nearest Ryan security officer. Suspicions and rumors continue to follow Frank Fontaine, owner of Fontaine Futuristics, founder of Little Sisters Orphanage, and Fontaine Fisheries. Fontaine has provided the following statement.
I run a legitimate business. I believe in the morals of Rapture, and I have built everything I have from the ground up. I stand for everything Rapture stands for: equality, freedom, capitalism. Isn't that exactly what Andrew Ryan teaches us, preaches to us? These accusations are absolute slander, and I am an honest, fair-trading businessman operating within Rapture exactly as the rules permit. So I ask this of you, Mr. Ryan, where's your proof?
And just a reminder to all citizens of Rapture, all contact and trading with the surface is illegal. We have all we need here in Rapture already. Wanting an item from the surface is forgivable. Buying or smuggling one into Rapture is not. Stay on the level and out of trouble. If you're caught with contraband, including, but not limited to, Bibles or religious memorabilia, films from the surface, tobacco, cocaine, cats, people, or newspapers, you will be detained and the items will be destroyed. The only people who face capital punishment are those who've put everything we've worked for here at risk. Imagine if the Soviets found out about our wonderful city, or even the US government. Our secrecy is our shield. Let's go to our first advertisement.
What's up, Mary? Why are you looking so down?
Oh, I've just been feeling insecure about how I look. These wrinkles and crow's feet are making me look so old and tired.
Hey, haven't you heard? Steinman Surgery is offering all kinds of makeovers now, from minor alterations to full-blown transformations.
Wow, really?
Sure thing. A gal like you deserves only the finest.
Steinman's Aesthetic Ideals. Find us in the medical pavilion. What are you waiting for? Release your inner Aphrodite today.
And now, folks, time for a public address. You don't want to miss this, people. Down at Fontaine's department store, they're hosting an end-of-the-year fashion event, hosted by the one and only incredible star of Rapture, Claudia Winters. Gosh, what a fashion icon. There will be discounts and new homeware throughout all the departments, so if you're shopping smart, you'll be able to pick yourself up something for the biggest event of the year. Of course, I'm talking about Andrew Ryan's New Year's Eve party. I know it's a few months off yet, but wouldn't it be better to have that all wrapped up in advance? And of course, Fontaine's is fun for the whole family. Jack Frost Village is offering free entry to children whose parents have proof of purchase from any department, and will be handing out free samples of the brand new plasmid Old Man Winter. I'll be heading down to the department store myself after the show, because I'm in need of something to wear to Santa Cohen's latest artistic masterpiece. Of course, you all know that I visited the show on opening night and took you all along with me, but we have the absolute honor of having Mr. Cohen on the show to share some more insight, and I couldn't resist a second visit. Without further ado, here's our guest for the evening. It is Mr. Sandy Cohen himself. It's fantastic to have you here with us today, Mr. Cohen. I went to your latest show, The Theater of Brutality. What an absolute masterpiece, I must say. What inspired that particular creation?
I have had a lot of critics tell me that my art is deemed unstageable at times. Some argue that my ideas are not coherent or consistent, but this piece was developed with the aim to shock audiences through gesture, image, and sound. It is both a philosophy and a discipline, with the intention to disrupt the relationship between audience and the performer to go beyond words.
Wow, that is quite the statement there. There is something I can't quite wrap my head around. Beautiful as it was, could you possibly explain the sensory display of live scorpions shortly before the interval?
That is my favorite piece. My favorite part. The scorpions are a symbol to awaken the dormant dream images in the mind of the audience. My work appeals to the irrational mind, not one conditioned by society, not those who are heretics at the altar of art. The piece is raw, and the scorpions symbolize an anguished rant against the society of the surface, as our patron Andrew Ryan would want.
That's wonderful. It's truly a work of genius, I'm sure many would say. And, as we both know, the response to the piece has been utterly wonderful. What piece, if you don't mind me asking, are you working on currently?
I'm pleased you asked. My next piece will be visual poetry, an indulgence of the senses, filled with ritualistic movements. It will be called Dismantled Masks, exploring the duality of mankind.
Well, there it is, folks. You heard it right here from Mr. Sandy Cohen himself. It's been excellent to have you on the show, sir. We come back to the headlines with a news update next. Citizens of Rapture have been advised to stay away from Neptune's bounty, whilst Ryan Private Security pursue a lead on the smuggling ring. My sources say security officers were seen in Fighting McDonough's Tavern and Fontaine Fisheries. Both businesses, as well as the Jet Postal substation, will be closed for the following 24 hours to prevent any risk to health or life. Mail can be collected instead from Fontaine's department store, where it is being temporarily distributed by staff in the bistro. Well, isn't that handy? You can head on down to Fontaine's to do a spot of shopping and collect your mail all at the same time. And don't forget to keep your receipt and collect your sample of Old Man Winter. There's never been a plasmid like this one, folks, so don't miss out. It'll never be free again. Oh, hold on. Another update has just come in. Apparently security have identified a suspect and will be making an arrest regarding the smuggling ring. I'll try to find out what I can, folks, but whilst I do so, let's go now, quickly, to our sponsors.
Ryan the Lion here. Remember, parasites are never welcome. If you see a parasite, point them out. Come on down to see Ryan the Lion and give your parents a break.
Ryan the Lion Preparatory Academy is the one and only place in Rapture to get a proper education, separating the makers from the takers. Is your child a Ryan or a Peter? Do you want to raise a parasite? Ensure your child becomes a model citizen with Ryan the Lion Preparatory Academy.
Swinging like Natalie Cole. But have some more wine, 'cause life is for living. Let's see where this all might lead. Let's see where this all might lead.
Citizens of Rapture, I have breaking news. Frank Fontaine has been killed after resisting arrest for his apparent involvement in the smuggling of contraband, both to and from Rapture. He was tragically caught in the crossfire in what Ryan Security has stated was an accident. And Chief Sullivan assures the citizens they had every intention of capturing Mr. Fontaine for questioning alive, due to lack of evidence backing up claims of his illegal activities. Apparently, Fontaine's men opened fire upon Ryan security officers, and the resulting firefight was unavoidable. Early reports say there were no survivors within the fisheries. We have received a statement from Mr. Andrew Ryan already. Mr. Ryan has this to say. It is with my utmost displeasure that I have to share this news. The city of Rapture will grieve Mr. Fontaine for his great entrepreneurship. Personally, I saw him as an equal and a visionary, a pioneer of everything Rapture stands for. However, I remind the citizens not to grieve for too long. Let us move on, and from the rubble rebuild. Now that this business is dealt with, Rapture can sleep sound beneath the waves once more. Well, that is a relief, folks. Of course, to hear that the smuggling ring and the risk to Rapture's secrecy has been removed. Personally, citizens, I know I speak for many of us when I say Fontaine will be missed. This begs the question of what will happen now to Fontaine Futuristics and his other ventures. Who will step up to take over the running of his businesses and ensure the future of his charity works, such as the orphanage and Fontaine's Home for the Poor? It is early days to know just yet, but it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Here at Rapture Radio, we do our utmost to keep you honestly informed on everything going down under the sea. Well, that's it for tonight, folks. Join me next week when we have an interview with Bridget Tenenbaum, Rapture's very own wonderkind, as she discusses the future of gene tonics and what we can expect on the market in 1959. Up next, it's Mellow Music Hour, music for the discerning ear, with Humphrey Van Ness. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you next time.